Tonight it's well, let's see. I shouldn't say tonight because it's still the afternoon. It's 5:21 on April 11th, 2012, and what I'm doing tonight is I'm making a megaphone to mate the end of that head pipe to the exhaust tubing that's sitting right next to it. I've got over on my, we're gonna go kind of slowly here so that the picture isn't too horrible for you, for my internet subscribers to watch. Oh, that's pretty horrible. But there in the vise is a piece of the 2-inch tube that I bought from Speedway Motors, and you can see I'm cutting it with my pneumatic cutoff tool. I have to wait until it pretty much eats up the compressor. My compressor's not huge, but I'm cutting a V. You can see it in the cutting a notch on the other side of the tube that I'm going to compress this so that it will grab this piece of tubing right here and then taper out to from the 1.5 inch diameter at this end to the 2-inch diameter at this end, and then weld another piece onto there so that it can be clamped to, I need to buy a new camcorder, don't I? Mate to that tube right there. See, I'm touching it. I'm going to pick it up. It's too heavy. At any rate, so I've got to make some more sparks fly, as I am so fond of saying. Here we go. Okay, we've made the cuts, and we've squeezed it in the vise so that the bigger tube is pinching the smaller tube, and then we're going to tack weld the sides of it and then use heat and a hammer to form the edges around it. We'll probably have to zing that crack with the cutoff wheel again, just to make a nice seam. But yeah, there it is. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, as you can see, there's a tack weld there, and there's there's a tack weld there, and it's a little close. It's closer to the pipe now. It's not so much looking like a football like it was. I had to, a little dark there, but I had to widen the notch on this side so that I can get this in there. And I thought I was going to have to heat and bend, but all I've done is put it on the anvil surface on the vise and beat on it with my ball peen hammer. Yeah, so more hammering steel, and I think it's going to work out just fine. Yeah, my handmade megaphone, nice. Cool. Alright, so let's pound on this thing a bit and then do some more welding. And there it is, my homemade megaphone. 1.5 inches on the inlet, 2 inches on the outlet. And now I got to place the pipe against the chassis. I got to run fix up the exhaust, the tubing itself, and then attach this to the header and figure out the slip joint, and then we've got ourselves an exhaust, I'd say. Yeah. Now we've got that lovely piece of exhaust pipe that I got at Midas down the street from my apartment. That piece of 2-inch exhaust pipe, which is actually about 2 1/4, but it does slip right over the 2-inch stuff that I got from Speedway Motors, so it's good. That mark right there, I'm going to have to heat it there and then make a 10-degree bend so that it matches the bend of the frame. It matches the angle that the frame tubes bend here. Well, I might as well just move. There, you see. Right there, it's going to match that angle at the bottom of the frame, so that when I can go from that pipe there up to where the pipe has to meet the header coming down from the engine at the front. So yeah, now it's time to fire up the torches. Okay, so you see this piece of exhaust pipe in the vise. Now what we're doing is we're making two things. We're making exhaust mounts, and we're making exhaust clamps. I told you, everything's going to be hand fabricated here. What I'm doing is I'm cutting 1 1/4 inch lengths of this pipe that I'm going to slit and then cut bits of this angle and weld it, two pieces facing each other, so that I have a clamp, a draw clamp that will squeeze squeeze flanges shut. You know, I'm going to slit pipes and squeeze them shut on each other. And for the mounts, I had a while ago, well, last year sometime, I bought these things, which are these little rubber guys, which are Triumph Spitfire suspension bushings. And initially I thought I was going to use them to change the tops of the shock absorbers to a different kind of mounting, but then I realized that was a dumb idea. So what I did instead was I thought to myself, well, those would make awesome exhaust mounts. So I have this piece of tubing that's cut about 3/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch shorter on each end than the bushing, and I'm going to take and get a piece of 3/4 inch tube and weld the square tube to this tube, then weld that to the frame, and then that will be the mount. And then what I'll do is make tabs that will, flat tabs that will weld to the exhaust pipe, which is back there behind me, that I successfully bent by the method of heating it with the torch in this vise and leaning on it with my body. A method that I saw Jesse James use to bend a frame tube for that camel bike that was on his show, which was, I don't know, who knows, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. Anyway, so I get more cutting and slitting and welding to do, and then once I'm done with that, I will show you the finished product. Yes. Here's the exhaust tube that I heated and bent, and here's Victor. Howdy, dude. What's going on, man? Victor came bringing beverage, and we're gonna have guys. We're gonna bond around this machinery here.